everyone. I'm out here on this beautiful moody winter's day facing the elements for an overnight camp with my dog Indi. There's a whole lot of rain on the forecast. Not that many people want to come out in conditions like this, which makes it one of the best times, I think, to go out and enjoy a place all to yourself. If you haven't tried going out camping in the rain, you should give it a go. Actually, it's not for everyone. I have a brand new tent with me that I'm really looking forward to using in the rain. I'm hoping it's going to be the answer to comfort during rainy camps. Here I come. So glad you guys are joining us. This is going to be a beautiful camp. Atmospheric, cozy, and as is usually the case with my overnight trips, there is bound to be some kind of excitement or drama. Or maybe not. We'll wait and see. Dry feet! Yes! So we've got these two streams that are converging here. This one heads up to the falls. We'll go up there later. Let's have a look around the camping spots and figure out what's going to work best. And just looking at that, I can probably hang the tarp up from some of these trees. This is amazing, being under the tarp while it's raining. It's fantastic. I'm so sorry that it's so noisy for you with the sound of the river. My microphone has decided not to work, my wireless microphone, which is a real shame because the one that's on the camera picks up everything and it does make it very noisy when you're camping by a river. I'm going to get the tent put up now because I would rather get all my chores done and then I can settle down and enjoy this rain. And Indi, I'm sure, wants to be inside the tent. So the tent that I've got with me is the Palmolive Stove Hut 70. It's a lightweight hot tent, so this is 2.5 kilograms without the poles, and you don't need the poles, you can use hiking poles, which is what I've brought with me today. No, oh no, sorry everyone, honestly. Who in their right mind? Who in their right mind? Oh, would bring a $3,000 camera out into this weather. Tip of the day: watch out for your guy lines. Don't trip up over them. Even though it's very stony, this is the best place for the tent. turbo lion. I don't think these pigs are going to hold in this ground, but I'll put them in just for a laugh. Oh, for goodness sake. It's a really unusual tent because it feels like the only things holding it rigid are at these two ends, but the problem is it doesn't really have a proper guy line. This thing here attaches to what can be a ridge line. Like you can thread a ridge line through the top to hang it between two trees. It's not actually a guy line. The whole structure of the tent is from picking out the base. And I just can't get the tension because of these stones. If the wind gets up, this is going to be a catastrophe. I have got a whole lot of water here. Oh, oh no! This is crazy! One of the benefits is that there are a lot of peeking out points. So there's these little rain flaps and all sorts. And I can't get any pegs in. I think by the time I've got lots and lots of them in, I think we might be okay. guys see what the problem is? The edge of the awning is reinforced, which means that it doesn't want to pull downwards when I'm trying to peg it down low. So the water's not flowing down there, it's pocketing, like pooling just before the seam. Oh. I love camping in the rain, but I am not enjoying this. That was so much work. So much work. And I still have pockets of rain here. I often find with awnings, tent awnings, they're really designed for sun protection. They're really not properly designed for rain. I mean, I think this tent in theory is great. It's got these, I don't know if you can see them yet, I'll have to show you, but it's got these little side flaps that help to keep the rain out. Oh, that was so difficult, and I think the main problem is the stony ground. I just couldn't get the pegs to hold really well, and to get a tent set up properly you need good tension. They're not designed to be floppy, and I feel like there's parts of this that are still floppy. You know, this bit at the bottom here should be rigid. And I'm not even sure what that's about. One of the things that's tricky is when I set it up the first time in good conditions, I had the actual poles it comes with, which are the perfect length, and I should have measured them and worked out on my hiking poles what the perfect height would be, because I have tried to put them up to what seems like a good height, but I just wonder whether they aren't at the right height. I can't extend them anymore because everything's too tight, but yeah, there's aspects of the tent that I don't think are well set up. So my pants are saturated. I'm sitting in water. My underwear is soaking wet. It's disgusting. Disgusting. And the worst part is, I did not bring a change of trousers. I am so stupid. I'm really stupid. You should never, ever, just thinking, did I bring a change? No, I didn't. You should never, ever go out into the mountains with a change of clothing. I've got a nice puffer jacket and another warm top to put on, but I don't have a change of trousers because I stupidly thought I would get here before the rain set in and be nicely set up. I didn't see the point. Lesson learned. You can be somebody who goes out regularly and does lots of hiking and still make stupid mistakes. Now I have to sit around in wet trousers, which means I need to get my fire going ASAP. So I'm going to dry off this area of the tent that got a bit wet. I'll bring all my gear over, and then I better go and collect firewood, which means going back out into this rain. And can you see any dry firewood? Yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bit down. A little bit down. And if we get any wind, I don't hold out a lot of hope of this tent staying up. Oh, you guys. I do love camping in the rain. But only once I have a cozy little home set up. So anyway, enough mucking around, time to go and set up a cozy home. So I've got a bunch of sticks just to form a bit of a base, and I'll light the fire on the far right hand side because that's where the least of the water is. Did I say light a fire? I meant attempt with this wet wood. If I can't get a fire going, I'm just going to hop into my sleeping bag. I've got some gas, be able to have a cup of tea and cook up my dinner, and then just hunker down. It's not the end of the world. It just wouldn't be the cozy camp I was imagining. But let's see. You never know. I don't think this kindling's dry enough. Yeah, I don't think the kindling is dry enough. Looks like it's going, but it's still the newspaper and cotton balls. So I'm definitely not celebrating yet. No way. Not for a while. find is that as long as I can leave a hole of air underneath, I put the wet thin sticks on top, and then the heat from the fire dries them, and then fingers crossed they light. So I'll just keep crisscrossing them. It's looking good! Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm so pleased. Oh, I couldn't need this fire more. Oh, right, what am I thinking? Where have I put my saw is what I'm thinking. Yeah, where have I put my saw? Let me try to get some more wood. Because now that I've got the fire going, I really need to keep it going. So I'm going to need to rush out and get some more medium-sized pieces, otherwise we're going to have the same situation again. Hi, I am not joking. I have been feeding this fire for probably an hour. Backwards and forwards, because I just don't trust that it's going to keep itself alight. I'm running out of fallen dead trees on this side of the river. Hi there, girl. Hi. But I just want to try and find some more nice big pieces, she says as she looks at her tarp poles. Hello, baby. I know, it's nearly dinner time. It actually is nearly dinner time. My goodness, we've been on the go for so long. Okay, I'm going to go and get a couple more big pieces that will hopefully see me through. So then I can actually sit down and enjoy this. I want to get my seat out, put my billy on the fire and get a cup of tea going. And then straight after my cup of tea and little carrot cake, I'm going to get a wine out. Because I need, not that this is what wine's about, but anyway, I need to commiserate the breaking, snapping of the tip of my knife. Very sad. Alright, Indy. So nice to have some warm clothes on, even though I haven't got dry trousers on. That will come later. Once I'm nice and settled, I'll actually take my trousers off and hang them up here to dry. The rain has lessened off a bit, and I think actually they probably wouldn't get all that wet out there, and they probably would dry off. There really hasn't been a lot of time for fun and games for her or me. I haven't had a chance to take you up to the waterfalls. They're not far from here, but I think we're going to have to do, I know we're going to do that in the morning because it has been so chaotic getting that set up. I'm now finally able to enjoy myself. Hi there. You to back off a little bit, my love, if you want you hearing that. Oh. She actually wants her dinner, don't you? I'm in a precarious position without my trousers on. It's not really the best time to give you the dinner. Okay, I will give her the book though, because at least it will keep her occupied. Alright, good girl, up, down. Yes, that's it, good job. I'll just take away, get you back up, my love, thank you. Oh, you can tell I'm feeling short-tempered, and I don't mean to be. She's so sweet. She does not deserve my frustrations. It's always the way though, eh? Like, it's the same with family members. You take your frustrations out. I'm trying so hard not to. Yes! She's such a good girl. She really is. I am just... Ooh, is that dog slobber in there? I am just needing a break. I am needing a break, figuratively and practically. In all honesty, it feels nice to have no trousers on than to get trousers. Ugh. Yuck, 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 yuck. I wonder if I hang them over a branch at the back of the fire. There's definitely something about a cup of tea. If you're thirsty and you've been working hard, a cup of tea tastes about 10 times better. Warm my wine up ever so slightly, just to take the chill off it. Cheers! This is so much better. I've almost forgotten what I said earlier. Something about not enjoying myself. I'm enjoying myself now. I think right at the beginning of the video I might have said something about battling the elements, and that's really what it is like. I want to come out and have a good time. I want to enjoy myself. I want to stay warm and dry. But you have to get to that point, and when you're camping in the rain, it is really uncomfortable. But you have to be prepared. It is uncomfortable until you get to this point. But if ever there was an activity to teach you about resilience, this is a really good one, because you actually just can't stop. You can't stop and have a cry and say, I'm not going any further, I'm not doing any more, I'm going home. I mean, you could go home, but if you want to reach the point where you're warm and dry and safe, you just have to keep going. And so it is actually a really good way to build your character, if you can be bothered. Fish and white wine chowder. In case you're wondering about Indi, I inflated my air mat and got my sleeping bag out to make the bed really cozy, and then I enticed her into the tent because it's much nicer in there for her than lying out here. She was either getting too close to the fire and it was getting really hot, or she was lying in the dirt or in the rain, so she's happy in the tent. Once I've had dinner and watched the fire for a while, I'll go and join her. That is some steaming laundry. Very steamy laundry. Hello. Hi, that's not good. So the irony is that I pulled this tent out so that I could sit here and be protected from the rain. But I had my tarp because I knew that you're only allowed to light a fire in that fire pit. So I had to have separate cover for that. So I didn't even really get to test this out and see whether you can sit in here and stay dry. I would say though that there is water on this bit from here down, but there didn't seem to be water inside the tent. So I think this flap and this flap and this one do a pretty good job of keeping the rain out. I'll tell you more about the tent tomorrow morning, but right now I have had it with today. I mean, I don't mean it in a bad way. I'll tell you more about the tent tomorrow. Have a little look around it. It's features, but for now, I am just keen to get into bed. It is super early. I don't know where my phone is right now, but I checked it earlier and it was something ridiculous like 6:30. I'm actually thinking that before I go to bed, I'm going to take down the orange tarp. Because this is enough for me to get protection in the morning. I don't need the tarp, and I'm not going to be lighting the fire, so there's no point having it up. There is supposed to be a little bit of wind coming through at about 1 a.m. The last thing I want is for it to be flapping around and I have to get up and pack it up in the night. So I'm going to do that and then head off to bed. So see you guys tomorrow for a lovely coffee and breakfast and a trip to the falls. Can't tell you how much I need this coffee. Oh, if you've got an uncomfortable camp, the smallest things mean so much. Just the ceremony of sitting here and drinking your coffee is, it's absolute heaven. I actually slept really well last night, but Everything inside the tent is really neat. There was lots and lots of condensation. Lots of condensation inside the tent. And one of the walls is like, it's not a 2-wall tent, it's a 1-wall tent, and it's got mesh across the side and across the 2 ends. So there's one wall across the back where you're right up against the actual tent fabric, the outside tent fabric, and the water was just rolling down there, rolling down. I don't think it was from a leak. If it's well sealed, I think it's just condensation. Poor old Indi had the worst of it. Her sleeping bag was saturated, and I think that's because being a dog, you really know not to sleep up against the side of the tent. And she'd sleep up on this side, even though there's a mesh here. The mesh is all wet as well. Yes, the condensation was coming down on this bit through the mesh. So at one point in the night it started raining heavily, and as the big drops were hitting the tent, little drops were hitting me because there was so much condensation on the tent inside that I guess the force of the rain pattering on the outside of the tent was dislodging these little drips. So it felt like I was lying outside, while it was drizzling. I think this tent would be perfect for a camp that's not too far from the car, where I can carry in the tent and the wood stove, and possibly even a little bit of crackling to get it started. And where it's cold, so you want fire. The fire in that part of the vestibule is amazing. Those of you who are channel members would have seen me testing this tent out in nice weather, as in freezing cold, but no rain, no snow, and no wind. And that was amazing. It was so warm having the fire in that vestibule. It's really good. It's really good as a little hot tent, light enough that you can carry in something. I have my doubts about how it would cope in snow though, and when I think of a hot tent, I think of something that can cope well with winter. Now this isn't me saying it won't cope well in the snow, but I just can't see how it would, because there's not enough holding it rigid. And you saw it's not at all freestanding. In the snow, I like a tent that's fairly freestanding and then needs to be guyed out, because then you know that it's got a solid structure. This tent seems to rely on the pegs at the bottom to peg it out, because even the 2 guy lines that I put on those eyelets at the top, they're not designed for guy lines to pull down. They're designed for a ridge line to go through if you don't have poles, hiking poles or anything to put the tent up with. You can actually string it up. So I just don't think snow load would work. Okay. I want to get packed up quite soon, because this is a popular area to come out day walking, and Just nice not to be sitting here camping when people come walking through. So I think probably from about 10 or 10:30 onwards, we could see people coming through. It's 9 o'clock. Beautiful. I'm really enjoying this little farm maple kettle pour-over kettle. It's lovely. It's the extra thing to take with you, but in this instance I just bought a pot and kettle. But typically I suppose I would just boil my water in here and pour it. But it is lovely. It's just, it feels so, I don't know, it just feels so, I wouldn't say elegant, that's not the word I was meaning, but it just feels nice. And right now, not a lot feels nice. Everything's wet and cold and dirty. And I'm so sorry about the noise of the river. I tried again with my DJI Mic Mini. So what happened is on a trip quite a while ago, I took it out on a trip like this and it got moisture inside the charging box. And I know it did because from that point onwards, it just wouldn't light up. So across the front, you've got lights that tell you how much charge the box has. And ever since then, it hasn't been working properly. So it will begin to charge and I can turn it on. And then within about 30 seconds, it's proving me wrong this time. It's not even going to turn on. It's honestly, it's so depressing. It's so depressing. Because these conditions are so rough on your hair. And then of course we've got the tip of my saw that's broken as well. So I've got a couple of things to replace, which is not good. It's so pretty here. When we arrived yesterday, I really didn't show you around because it was like action stations trying to get everything done. But, oh, I'm excited now. Right, not excited about packing up all the wet gear, but I better get onto it. And then we can go and explore, look around here, and go up to the falls. Can you see how wet that is? Poor Indy, honestly. Okay, all packed up. Usually when you go camping, you look forward to a lighter pack on the way home because you've eaten stuff, used stuff. But when you go camping in the rain and your gear gets wet, all you can look forward to is a much heavier walk out. Alright. On a brighter note, look at this. Isn't this spot just so lovely? Come back this way, darling. So that's where we're heading. We're going to head up there. I'll leave the pack here. It's nice and safe. If somebody wants to carry it all the way out, good luck to them. I don't want to carry it all the way out. I don't think I pointed it out yesterday, but you can probably see through the trees here. There's a little long drop toilet. There you are. So, waterfall to the left. It says campsite and toilet to the right, but there actually isn't any more camping up there. I think there might have been a washout on the banks of the river because the track sort of peters out right on the edge of the bank where it drops off into the river. So yeah, don't bother going through there to look for a campsite. Oh, my fingers are freezing. It wasn't until I realised it was only 1 degree that I figured out it was actually okay that my hands were feeling freezing. Packing up a wet tent in 1 degree. It's not pleasant. Ooh, I'm hearing the falls. They're going to be spectacular after the rain yesterday. I have been here before and I know that you've got to be quite careful. It's rather slippery, so let's see. Nope, that's not it. Ah, and here comes the sun. Fantastic. It'll be a while before it reaches the valley. In fact, I don't even know if this valley would get any sun in winter. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. Yee! Ryde Falls. Beautiful. Goodbye, little camping spot. Thank you very much. More important than not getting my feet wet is not slipping, falling in and hurting myself, and then getting everything wet. So I want to test these rocks carefully. Success. And off we go. About an hour and 15, maybe an hour and 20 back to camp. What am I talking about? It's about an hour and 15, maybe an hour and 20 back to the car. Apart from the waterlogged heavy pack, this is a really enjoyable walk out. I'm really enjoying the sun just peeking through the trees. The birds. It's a lovely way to end my trip. Oh, it's funny how you end up thawing out physically and emotionally. There's times during this 24-hour period where I was really questioning why I was there. Oh, but you know what? I love the challenge, I really do. The lessons that I learn out here in the mountains, I take back home into my life. Back in the city, knowing that you're strong, that you're brave, that you can handle challenges is really valuable. These kind of experiences build character. And a strong character helps you get through other things in life. So I try not to run away from the challenges. I try not to see them as negative. I see them as a learning opportunity. And I'm genuinely walking out here and reflecting on how wonderful this trip has been. Can you believe it? I would not have said that yesterday when I was dripping wet, soaked through. Who would have thought I'd be smiling after all of that? I am leaving feeling satisfied. Satisfied that I did challenge myself and face the elements like I said I would. And I've come out smiling, so it's not all bad. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next trip. I'm not 100% sure what the next trip will be, but I've got lots of ideas and lots of plans. So stay tuned and I'll see you then. Bye everybody.